When it comes time to sell your house, it's very important to prepare for the challenges that you're getting ready to experience in selling your house. Now, some challenges are more prevalent than others because let's face it, no two negotiations are exactly the same because they're variable upon the people that are in them. Let's take a look at the top 11 common challenges selling a house and help you be prepared. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is helping you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, it's really interesting to note that in real estate practice that even though every negotiation is different based upon the people that are in it and based upon the properties in question, that there are so many significant things that are the same. We're going to explore 11 of those things to better prepare you to sell your house. The first one are knowing the market conditions. Depending on the market conditions, when you choose the time is right for you to sell your house, it's going to be a seller's market, a buyer's market, or a stabilized market. If it's a seller's market, it's just as it sounds. It favors you, the home seller, and that you're going to probably be able to get the list price for your home so long as it's a fair market value price. Sometimes you might find buyers that are willing to pay a little bit more. It just depends. In a seller's market, if there's a chance for a multiple bid, that is the market condition that normally will see that happen. The second type of market is a buyer's market. Just like it sounds, it's going to favor the buyer. So you need to be ready to be more negotiable if you're selling inside of a buyer's market. And the third type of market is a stabilized market, in which there's a pretty much about the same amount of home sellers that are buyers in the market. So it's important to note that negotiations will definitely be at play in a stabilized market. So depending on the market condition will also prime you for success with knowing what's going on. The best place to get this information is with your trusted real estate advisor. Ask them what the market conditions are and ask them what they're seeing in real estate practice. This will guide and assist you in knowing, is this the right time for you to sell your house? Ultimately, the time is right to sell your house when you're ready to do so. The second thing is to keep your emotions in check. Now, you might be thinking, you know, Andrew, I've heard of buyers saying they feel like they're on an emotional roller coaster when they're purchasing a home, but I wasn't aware that sellers were also going to have some emotions going on here. Have you ever heard of seller's remorse? Now, you probably heard of buyer's remorse, but seller's remorse is a thing too, meaning that you regret ever selling the house. We want to make sure that you're crystal clear on the reasons why you're selling your house. In fact, as a pro tip here, I would suggest that you actually write down why you're selling your house and what makes it so important to you to be able to move on to the next step. Write down your end goal and understand your reasons why you're selling and keep that with you at all times while you're on the market and moving forward through the closing process on selling your house. Doing so will set you up for success and help keep your emotions in check. The other thing to consider is that some buyers might come in and make a lowball offer. It can be offensive. Don't be offended. Let's keep it logical. Let's be calm, cool, and collected and just simply take a breath. Taking a step back to reassess the situation will help us make a smart negotiation tactic, but we can't do that if we let our emotions control us. We've got to remain true to ourselves and be logical moving forward together. The third challenge is choosing the right agent for you. Now, you're probably thinking, Andrew, how many real estate agents have I ever heard say it's important to choose the right agent? It's important to choose the right agent. It's probably been ingrained into your psyche and you're thinking, you know what? I really think this is starting to be cliche, and you're probably right about that. At the same time, what really defines choosing the right agent for you is by Googling that agent's name. So let's use my name for example. Type in Andrew Finney, Las Vegas Realtor, see what happens. Type in Andrew Finney reviews, see what happens. And the reason I say that is what you want to look at it specific are the ratings, the reviews, and the past sales performance. And the ratings, obviously the higher the ratings, the better. Most of these scales are 5 stars. And reviewing the reviews, now this is where it gets really interesting. Make sure that you're choosing the right agent for you. These are other real people just like you, either buyers or sellers, that are sharing what it was like to work with that agent. If after reading those reviews you feel comfortable with that agent, chances are you just found the right one for you. In reviewing the past sales performance, you'll be able to know how active that agent is by simply taking whatever number you find. Zillow.com is a great place to verify this information, by the way, and scrolling down on the agent's profile page to see what their total amount of sales are. Take that total amount and divide it by the number of years they've been in business. This will indicate to you how frequently they're closing on property, helping people buy and sell homes. An agent that's active is a pretty good one to have on your side, because what are they going to know? They're going to know what market condition you're in. They're going to know what listing strategy to take, and they're going to know how to negotiate offers better than the ones that don't have as much past sales performance. Please don't overlook the importance of working with the right agent. Getting tied down with the wrong person could be a nightmare situation for you. Let's make sure that everything works well for you by being smart in your agent selection. The fourth hurdle is getting the pricing right on your house. Now, you might be thinking, Andrew, Andrew, you know, I want to sell my house, yes, but I don't want to give my house away. I tell you the truth, I have never heard a seller tell me in practice, Andrew, I want to give my house away to a buyer. Please find a buyer that wants to screw me and give me a lowball offer. I'll take it, no questions asked. I've never heard this. Have you ever heard this? I'm pretty sure that you haven't either. So let's just cut to the chase and be real here, okay? Getting the pricing right is to your benefit. And when we're talking about getting the pricing right in your home, no one's asking you to give your house away. At the same time, overlisting your property, thinking that you're leaving room for negotiation, is leaving room for price reductions into the future. Because here's why. Your first 2 to 5 weeks on market are the most critical time on market. The more qualified buyers we can get into your house, the sooner that we can do that, the higher the odds that you have of hitting your list price or above your list price. This is because your house is now the new kid on the block. And if we've done everything right by getting your home ready to go, by decluttering it, depersonalizing it, pricing it right, and having professional photography taken, we're enticing buyers to come in for a visit. The longer a home is on market, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, it's going to stigmatize your property. And you might be wondering, well, what's that stigma, Andrew? I want you to think about something. The longer a home's on the market, what do you think about it? Chances are you're thinking something's wrong with that property, or the seller's being unreasonable about the price, or there was a low appraisal and it just keeps falling out of contract. All three of those are stigmas. Do you want those stigmas when it comes time to sell your house? Probably not, right? The best way to avoid that is by taking the time and the care to prepare your home for sale and pricing it right to begin with. The shorter amount of time that your home is on the market, the better it's going to be for you, because it's more likely you're going to be hitting your price. Not to mention, you're going to be taking a step in the right direction to help you move on to where you want to go next. The fifth challenge is preparing your home for sale. Now, obviously, this goes hand in hand with pricing your home right. When we're looking at preparing your home for sale, what are the things that stick out in your mind right now that you know should be done? Chances are you know you need to depersonalize your house, take down all the family photos and take all the stuff down that has you in it. We need to take you out of the house so that a buyer can see themselves living in the house and enjoying their lifestyle, not you. We know that you need to declutter that house because we need to show that the features and amenities of your property are so astounding, so wonderful, that a buyer would be silly not to buy it, right? So we want to make sure that it's depersonalized and decluttered, and we need to get it clean and smelling right, because a smelly home will sell for less. Keep that in mind. Not saying you have a smelly home, but if you have pets or you have other things going on in your house, it's time to take a hard look at that and take a really deep sniff to make sure there's nothing that's odoriferous in your house keeping you from getting an offer. Likewise, when you're talking about preparing your home for sale, you might be thinking, well, if I did a major kitchen remodel, I'll get my money back. Maybe yes, maybe no. In most cases, probably not. Just being honest with you here. So what you want to do is you want to put fresh coats of paint on the house. Yes. You want to clean the house. Yes. There are certain little things that you can do cosmetically that will appeal to the mind's eye of a buyer and make them want to buy your home a little bit more. Curb appeal is one of those things. So here's the deal. Before you take on any projects and you know you're getting ready to sell your house anywhere from 3 months to 24 months in advance, it'd be wise to go through your agent selection process, choose the agent that's right for you, and start working together, yes, even 3 to 24 months in advance. Why? Because sometimes it takes a little while to get our home ready to sell because we have this other thing called life. We have this other thing called a job. So it's important to take note of how long it will realistically take us to depersonalize and declutter our house to be ready to move on to where we want to go. Now, obviously, if you have a tight time frame, then there's a lot of things that are going to need to happen. Doing so with the guidance of your trusted real estate advisor will set you up for success, minimize the impact on market by maximizing how quickly you can get your home sold at the best price. The sixth challenge is maintaining a show-ready home. Now, you might be thinking, oh my God, I gotta clean. I just want to go to work today. I just want to get up. I want to do my thing. I want to come home and do my thing. Now I got to accommodate showings. Now I got to keep the house clean. Yes, you do. Because it's the same thing that you'd want to see whenever you're walking to someone else's house to buy. Because let's be honest here. When you sell this house, where are you going? You're probably going to buy another house, right? Whether it's in this city, in a different city, in another state, you're going to have a roof over your head. So in having to have a roof over your head, you're going to be looking for properties. So let's make sure that your property pops by maintaining a show-ready condition and keeping it as much of a model home as possible. This is where it now goes back to the importance of preparing your home for sale and also getting the price right. Guess how easy it is for you to keep it show ready for a few days as opposed to a few weeks or several months to sell? Wouldn't you rather just keep your house show ready for a few weeks if that's what it took to sell your home as opposed to several months and then selling? It's up to you. Let's make sure that you get this done right by being real with yourself and keeping your home show ready. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but it's going to be well worth it at the end of the day. Perhaps one of the most challenging things about selling your home is the seventh point, which is unrealistic home buyers. If a home buyer walks into your home and they're like, oh, you know what? That's really not my color palette. You know what? what, I really wish that you had upgraded cabinets. You know what, I'm just not feeling this. I'm gonna offer you a lowball offer on this house because I like the nuts and bolts of this house, but I really don't want to do so much, so I'm just gonna lowball the offer. Is that okay with you? Would you take that offer? Hey, don't worry. When buyers do that with me in practice, I simply ask them, would you accept your own offer? If the answer to that question is no, then why would they think that you as a home seller would take it? The same thing is true of home selling negotiations. If you think you're gonna keep raising your price or trying to go above your list price, would you buy the house for what you're asking for? If not, then we already have a problem. But when it comes to an unrealistic home buyer, it's important to take stock that some buyers have different thought processes depending on how many times they bought a home before and depending on how their agent is helping them with their home buying education. I do a lot of videos to help out home buyers in purchasing a home and understanding the process and the different considerations, the same as making this video for you, the home seller. Here's the thing, we know that unrealistic home buyers are going to happen. Don't get offended by it, keep the emotions in check, and just roll with the punches knowing it's part of the process. We'll see you through to getting your home sold at the best price possible in the least amount of time possible. The 8th challenge are home inspections, and specifically, what is a passing inspection or not? It's important to note that a general home inspection is not a pass or fail grade. It's simply the observation and professional opinion of the home inspector that went in at that time, in their opinion, and assessed your property with a 1600 point checklist in many cases. So they're going to report it back to the buyer. That's where a home inspection can pass or fail, is in the mind's eye of a home buyer. Now, preferably with a good agent that was right for you as your listing agent, they'll be able to work through that with a buyer agent and make sure that everything comes together the right way. Things that could pass or fail are something like a radon gas test. It's a whole different type of inspection. In fact, there's about 18 different types of home inspections that a buyer could do on your house, depending on where you're located in the country and what the situation may be with customs or different things that may have arisen from the general home inspection. The best practice here is to have what's called a home pre-listing inspection completed. By doing so, you'll have the opportunity to correct anything that the home inspector finds, make that report available to prospective home buyers, and also show the receipts for any work that was done. Doing so will increase the transparency that all the home maintenance is done and everything is ready to go for them just to simply make a great offer for you, which they probably will if they know everything is already done, and move into the house that just became their home with peace of mind and clarity. A home pre-listing inspection is in your favor. Talk to your trusted real estate advisor about getting that done before you go on the market. And perhaps one of the most nail-biting things is the 9th point with appraised value. Now, this really runs deep, and this can really hit home hard because we know that a buyer cannot get more home loan than what? The appraised value. Knowing that a buyer cannot get more home loan than the appraised value can cause a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights, and a lot of nail biting until we get that appraisal report in. Fortunately, a lot of this could be mitigated by having the right trusted real estate advisor working with you, because you would have already known an estimated fair market value for your home prior to going on the market. This really starts running deep and becoming an issue if you're concerned with it because you've gone up and over your list price in a multiple bid situation, or you were asking a lot of money and maybe the buyer was in the market that just simply said, you know what, I'm so frustrated, I'm just going to offer the next person I make an offer on whatever they're asking for without even checking the value of the house. If that's the case, that's going to cause some sleepless nights, because if that point spread is too large, that buyer probably doesn't have the money realistically at the end of the day to pay for it. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything right by pricing your home right. It goes back to the importance of that and setting you up for success. Then we won't really have to worry about the appraised value as much. Yet when we cross that appraised value, we'll all take a sigh of relief knowing that everything is on the up and up moving forward. The 10th challenge could be the closing process itself, specifically sealing the deal at the end of the day. It's important to note that buyers getting financing are going to have what is called a soft credit pull right before they close. Generally, this happens anywhere from 3 days to 5 days before closing day. If that buyer has done something silly like go buy a new truck or go buy furniture on a credit card and it throws their debt to income ratios out of whack, it can cause a massive problem if they can even still qualify for the loan, and if they can move forward, it might be slowing down your closing date or extending it out a little bit. It's important to note that the buyer, through no fault of your own, just the buyer's decision, can really screw something up here. All the same, your trusted real estate advisor can be monitoring the progress of the buyer's loan with the lender and with the buyer agent themselves to ensure that the buyer knows what they're supposed to be doing or not doing to help everything move forward in the right direction, which is them closing on the place that's going to be their new home and you closing on the house that was now just a great memory for you as you move forward in your life. By being prepared for this possible challenge will set you up for success. And the 11th challenge is simply moving out. Given that we just said that the home buyer is going to have have what's called a soft credit pull right before they close on your house can present some logistical nightmares depending on your situation. You might be thinking, you know, I really don't want to leave the house until I know 100% we're closing, which would definitely seem prudent. Here's the thing, if you're trying to move out within 3 days and you haven't packed up one thing, we have a little bit of a problem. So what you want to do is probably start packing up before you even go on the market as you're decluttering your house. Get those nice Tupperware or Rubbermaid bins and start packing out as much as possible. When you accept an offer in your house, continue packing out. So when you're ready to move out, maybe it's closing day, maybe it's the day before, you're ready to just simply load everything up or have the movers come in and take everything out for you so that you can close on your house. Now, what I'd ask you to do, and it is the polite and right thing to do, is ensure that you leave the house clean. It's extremely important to think about this, because how would you feel if you just spent $500,000 buying a house and the first thing you had to do when you went in was play Merry Maids? It's not cool. It's a polite and right thing to do to have the house professionally cleaned after you're completely done moving out. Something to consider, something to think about. Okay, my friends, so now that we covered 11 of the challenges that you're going to face selling a house, let's take a closer look at how the closing process works when selling a house and how to deal with seller's remorse. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.